Welcome to Let's Play World of Warcraft. We're going to be running Trial of the Champion, the new 5-man instance. This is your host, Particle Man, and we're getting right underway here. Basically, what's going to happen is everybody comes into this instance, picks up a lance, and gets on a mount, and then 3 factions march in. At the end of the 3rd faction marching in, the first 3 contenders will step up. And what you're going to do is your 5 group members are just going to go ahead and charge down, pretty much just mow down these guys. These guys are kind of like trash mobs. So you're just going to want to take them down using your shield breaker and charge abilities. Preferably charge. It does a lot more damage in this one because they don't have the ability to put their defensive shields up. However, before you get started, make sure everybody has 3 stacks of the shield buff on your own group, so that when you go into this you'll be okay. Because if you don't have it, you'll take a lot of damage. As you can see, we're just kind of mowing through these guys really quick. They're not really difficult. You can mark them if you want, just so everybody will kind of attack the same one. And keep in mind, if you fall off your mount, you can run to the edge and get onto another one. Also, this is normal mode. This is not heroic. But the boss fights, I believe, are essentially the same. I've done normal and heroic so far. Haven't noticed a difference yet. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're fairly similar. But now what's going to happen is the 3 bosses, 1 from each faction, are going to come out. You got to mark these guys because you need everybody working on the same one. And I'll show you why here in a minute. I don't know the kill order. They say to take down the orc warrior first. Well, I guess we're not to the fighting part yet. But this was I don't know. Oh, I think that was a healer. That's why we took her down first. Either way, it doesn't really matter. You're just trying to knock all 3 of them off their mount. And now what you have to do is, if you'll notice, Skull keeps trying to every 6 seconds or so, they'll try to get up and run toward the outside. If they make it to the outside, what's going to happen is they are going to get on their mounts and then be able to come back in the fight with 100% mount. So if you notice, she just got up, and just by standing there, there's like a collision detection, and all you have to do is stand next to him and kind of just move slightly back and forth, and it'll keep them on the ground while you take down the other 2 people. And so what you're basically trying to do is you're trying to get all 3 people off their mount at the exact same time so that you can fight them, I guess 3 on 5 with just regular melee weapons, just like a regular instance. So it's good to just assign 1 person to each mark that you knock down. And now what happened is we got all 3 of them off their mounts, and now we have to kill them just like a normal boss fight. So I guess here we're killing the healer first. If you get, apparently it's random what 3 you get. If you do get the one with the orc warrior, they say to kill him first because he does a ton of damage. And this is pretty sloppy, actually. This is the first time I ran it on normal, or really at all. So that's why our shaman went down. But luckily it was just a DPS, so we were okay. Stay out of the green because it does a lot of extra damage you don't need to be taking. And I've got tons of stacks of everything horrible on me. So if you're a paladin, keep cleansing that off. I don't know what it was doing, but it was doing a lot of damage. So, and you got that healer is a pain to get down. For some reason, she was able to just keep healing herself. I don't know if everybody wasn't focusing or what. But each one has a special ability. I kind of wish I knew the special abilities to tell you about them a little bit more in depth. But as you can see, we're kind of getting tore up here a little bit. But oh, the shaman res himself. Okay. But as soon as you get done with Skull, go ahead and work on X. And then when you're down to the last guy, it doesn't even matter. I think this guy's like a shaman, this horde, Tauren. And he just pretty much takes it. It's no big deal. I think he kept healing himself at the end, which is annoying. You can stun him. It's just like you're fighting someone in PvP, so all those kind of rules apply, where you can use almost any ability pretty much. And as soon as you get them down, they all march out of the facility, and you get your first chest. So that's pretty much the first fight right there. which isn't super difficult. You just got to remember that you've got to assign people to keep knocking down whoever you've just knocked down. Because if you don't, then it's going to be bad news for you. Because as soon as they get to the outside, then, you've got to it's basically not like starting over again, but for that one person, you're starting all over again with them. The good news is you can continue to get as many mounts as you want also, but if you get knocked down on the ground, you don't just get to be like infinite continues like the computer does. If you run out of life by them charging you, which can happen really quickly, especially if you're a cloth wearer, then you won't be able to mount back up and you'll die. So technically it's infinite lives, but not really. Now you just go and talk to the little event coordinator here, and this will start at the next event, which is you'll see 10 people are going to walk in. This boss can either be a female or a male paladin, and I'll kind of explain the female part here in a second. What's going to happen is on the far left, I guess you can start either direction. We started on the far left. Go ahead and mark the healer, which is always the priest with the big staff in the group, and it's basically like I can't remember the instance now. I'm having a hard time remembering. Oh, it's kind of like heroic AN, Azul and the Rub, the first boss fight where you have 3 groups, in front of the boss, and then you have to fight the boss at the end. This is basically all it is. If you'll notice, I don't know if they changed Lightwell what it does, but their Lightwell is awesome. They lay it down on the ground, and it just sits there and spam heals a random, I'm pretty sure a random person in the group. I don't know. They were acting like they were going to change Lightwell, but if they didn't give Priest that type of Lightwell, it seems kind of like a ripoff that they can give it to, or make it useful in an instance for the enemy, but not, for players. So then you're going to go to the middle group and just do the exact same thing. Now, keep in mind on heroic, the third person of this group, which I think there's a paladin somewhere in here, it's just really annoying because if you kill him last, I wonder if it's because you kill him last or whether it's just whoever's the last person does this like final rites meditation or something like that, and it slows everybody way down to where they can hardly move, and then it's just over. There's just no point for it at all. I guess the only point would be if you pulled like 2 groups at the same time, because if you're moving really slow, maybe it would. I don't know what the purpose is. It doesn't. All it does is slows you from pulling the next group. Now keep in mind to mana up and be ready, because as soon as you pull this group, as soon as that last guy dies, she just jumped right out. So everything's going to start happening pretty quick. Just remember that. So if you don't have full mana going into this third fight, it's not going to be good for the boss fight. I recommend killing these Lightwells because they're just kind of a pain. I'm not sure how much healing they're doing, but it looks like if it's healing that priest at all, it looks like it's a pretty good amount, maybe like 4,000 or 5,000 per hit. It's just constantly spamming it, and it only takes 1 hit to kill it too. I'm not sure if AoE kills it, but a couple melee hits definitely does. And notice that also on normal, all epic loot drops, which is pretty awesome. So here's the fight immediately. She comes right in, starts spamming Holy Smite on people. And what she's going to do is, as soon as she gets down to like 30% or something like that, she's going to pick a random boss that you've encountered at some point in the game, like a raid boss, and you're going to fight a shadow of them. So this is... I didn't know who it was when we were fighting them because I wasn't paying attention or knew what was going on, but I'm about 90% sure that's Gruul from Gruul's Lair, which is pretty awesome. Now, they don't have any other abilities, I don't think, or maybe they do, not that I noticed, but, there's a fear. Gruul didn't have that, but so all you're going to do is basically fight them at the same time you're fighting her, and she'll sit there and keep spamming random cast on people, and you can't actually hurt her. She's invincible during this time. You can keep aggro on her, though, by keep on taunting her. I think somewhat keep aggro on her. So basically, you just want to kill the apparition that she summons. And once you kill that, then you can start killing her again. So she's a lot easier than the other guy. Well, I don't know. The other guy, actually, we fought him on heroic, and he was pretty easy too. So, not too bad of a fight right there. And then as soon as she's dead, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the coordinator, and here's your loot. Thanks." So, getting ready to go load up the second half. Thanks for watching the first part, and I will meet you back here for part 2 of Trial of the Champion. Thanks for watching.